The office discontinued its application that was pending before the High Court for a confirmation of the seizure and freezing orders in pursuance of the referral of the case to Yoko. The court ordered that the office should return the cash sums and defreeze the account of an investment of Ms. Dapaah within 72 hours. The office also discontinued the procedural criminal charge against Ms. Dapaah for failure to return forms on declaration of property and income, since that was mounted on the original application for confirmation of the seizure and freezing orders, which was discontinued earlier in time. The office has had the benefit of 7 months of in-country and 4 months of collaborative transboundary investigation. Members of the press, on the totality of the gathered evidence and intelligence, it seems to us that the case is largely in the province of suspected money laundering and structuring. By operation of law, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, has a specific and direct mandate in respect of suspected cases of money laundering and its attendant activity of structuring. Of the special prosecutor is referring the case to IOCO for continued investigation and further action. The office will be in close collaboration with IOCO and continued collaboration with the FBI.
Right, so you've heard it all, and there was a court date, and the OSP went to court and said, I want to withdraw the cases that I have against Madam Cecilia Dapaah. Well, he got the cases withdrawn, but the OSP was instructed or ordered by the court to release Cecilia Dapaah's monies and assets that have been seized within, is it 74 or 72 hours? What is happening to that now? But my guests in the studio here, Honorable Yunus Afuseni and Martin Kwebu, what do they make of the turn of events? There are some who say the OSP has wasted our money all this time doing all this investigation and then only come to this point and say, well, the thing I'm looking for is actually not there. So it's another institution that should investigate it. But they too insist that it is the work we have done that has led to the discovery of money laundering that we are giving to IOCO. Where have we come?
Sam, it's not bad. Yeah, I can say it's not bad. Like I subscribe to the view that they have done some work that has brought us this far, right? So we shouldn't overly blame OSP, except that with hindsight, I think next time when there's money like this, we should all learn, because of the Supreme Court decision that even IOCO itself cannot investigate all money laundering cases. The Supreme Court in Ibrahim Malik recently held that if the money is not government money, IOCO shouldn't investigate and prosecute such a matter. So with hindsight, I think from the get-go, when you see plenty money like this, I think OSP in future should invite the police and invite IOCO onto the investigations. Yes, so that we don't lose time, because you see that we spent 7 months. Yes, he's done a lot of work, but the issue is that now IOCO too has to start not from straight away where OSP is, no, because they have to apprise themselves and all that. So it will take some time for them to come to speed, up to speed with the matter. You see, so we can avoid that by giving IOCO and the police some visibility on the case from the get-go, so that people are warming up on the sidelines, so that in the event that it turns out that the case is not cognizable by the OSP, then that institution will take over and hit the ground running, rather than now reading through and all that, right? Yes, so that is it. And I support, because we've done a lot of work, and look at it, Sam. You know, now the thing we should be excited about is, I see, on the money laundering charge, there's a provision that seems to say that, look, even if we cannot prove the unlawful activity, which Honorable and I have been talking about, the predicate offense, you're a lawyer, you also know it. You know, in money laundering, ordinarily, before you get a conviction, you have to show the crime, the unlawful activity that was engaged in first, before the person is trying to launder. So let's give a quick example. So you have to show that Mr. X stole, or Mr. X imported narcotics, or Mr. X did tax evasion. Maybe you should have paid 2 million to GRA.
So the source must be offense wrong.
Yes. And then, because of that money he got, now he's trying to trade. He's selling foods. He's building real estate, etc. So he's laundering that money. Good. But Section 1, subsection 3 of the Act makes it clear that even whilst investigating, if the person is found with money, you and I, our favorite article 286 clause 4, of course, you started before I joined. If he cannot explain the source of that money, then that in itself too, the person must be convicted. Let's read it. It's very clear. So hopefully, in the context that Madame Dapaah so far has not been able to explain the source of the money, the information she gave, 3 sources have all failed. They've proven to be lies. It looks like we will get her there. So this is what Section 3 says. Subsection 3. It says, where a person under investigation for money laundering is in possession or control of property which the person cannot account for and which is disproportionate to the income of that person from known sources, that person shall be deemed to have committed an offense under subsection 2. And subsection 2 is the one that says a person commits money laundering if he conceals money from an unlawful activity, blah, blah, blah. So it appears this one, you know, it was in the previous act, the 874, etc., that if you have money, you cannot explain the source, it will be taken from you, blah, blah. So that's its repetition here. So I think so far, Sam, you and I know there are OSP reports that have shown that Madame Dapaah said the 800,000, the one the house girls and go to, belong to her deceased brother's, her deceased brother. When lawyer William Kusi in Kumasi sought to represent the widow so that they will ask her for the money, then she backtracked. She now said the money is for her. So there's one lie on record, on the OSP records. 2, she said 2 cosmetic businesses. You know, OSP did a report. OSP had interviews with the owners and they searched it as Registrar General. Then it turned out those 2 did not belong to her. So far, in explaining sources of her money, Madame Dapaah has told 3 lies. So going into this trial, she has a huge credibility issue. The OSP report came out. We read it sometime, was it October or so? That's the information she gave. Oh, I got this business from, I got this money from these 2 cosmetic businesses. Investigations proved that that was a lie. So when she goes into court, you know the rules we use in court. On 3 occasions, you've lied. So the 4th time, how will a judge believe you that this time your explanation is true? Okay, let's add this last one. Article 78 clause 3 says that as a minister, if you are doing business, you need the permission of the speaker. So Madame Dapaah, as far as our checks show, has not sought the permission of Mr. Speaker. It says 78.3, a minister of state shall not hold any other office of profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker, acting on the recommendations of a committee of Parliament on the ground, blah, blah, blah. So Madame Dapaah doesn't have that.
On the grounds that holding that office will not prejudice the work of a minister and that no conflict of interest arises or would arise as a result of the minister holding that office.
Excellent. So Madame Dapaah has 3 false statements. So when she goes a 4th time trying to explain this thing, it's going to be difficult. And let's put this quickly in passing. Please, can Mami Tiwa address us that they've taken the money from Madame Dapaah or that they will be present at the time OSP is handing over the cash so that they immediately take it away? Because from the way the burden is being...
You just preempted my next question.
Okay. Please,
so that is it.
Yes.
So the concern is that the money is likely to be dissipated.
No. We'll not allow that to happen. And Madame Tiwa, so like we're saying, she and her men, or her, of course, naturally, not she herself, her subordinate, have to be present at the time Mr. Ejabin or his subordinates are handing over the $500,000 cash and the $2,730,000. They have to be present. Then they take, and then the Kinte and those things. Right? Okay, or the Kinte were in the house helps case, right? So they have to be present. If not, if she takes it and dissipates it, no, we'll not forgive.
And the accounts that had been frozen.
Excellent. And you know, Yoko too has the same power like OSP. OSP even copied from there. So it means that Mamitiwa ban now. That one, I trust that by now they should have done the letters to the banks that we have taken over. Please, these accounts are frozen. And then Yoko and Adia Act, they have 2 weeks, right, to go to court for confirmation of the... Yeah, so they shouldn't be dissipated. And we need to say, Mami Tiwa, we need to remind her, people are saying it on social media that her track record in the past has not been good. She has sought to protect Akufo-Addo. So this one, she has to get it right. So this is her make or break case because they've recited the A+ tape. The tape is out there in public when she was begging A+ not to make the
That's
case.
a major concern of the public.
So Mami Tiwa, please, don't try. Akufo-Addo has been shown to be corrupt. If you try to do this one, you are finished. Because the A+ tape is there. People will soon start playing it where she's begging A+ not to press the case against Asensu and Jinapo, that's Samuel, because that would make the government bad. And then you remember there was also the case of the Takrade girls, and then there is a case of Sewa Bruni. So 3 cases against you, Mami Tiwa. This is your make or break case. Just separate yourself from Akufo-Addo and his corruption legacy. Separate yourself from these 3 past cases where you've not done right by us as citizens. Make or break. Last chance.
Now, listening to Martin, it further confuses me why the special prosecutor decided that this case is within the province
of money laundering,
money laundering,
which he doesn't have power to.
We know money laundering doesn't have power, it's EOCO. But money laundering is not a standalone offense.
That's what he said.
Yes, it's a derivative offense. So there must be, even the Money Laundering Act makes that very clear, that money laundering must have been from an unlawful activity.
Yeah.
And that person must attempt to conceal or attempt to conceal the process of that crime. So, yeah.
Let me tell you, but I don't see the subsection 3 now saying that if you can't explain that, we should take.
So that is where they stand alone. So money laundering can be prosecuted as a stand-alone, but money laundering does not occur as a stand-alone offense, but can be prosecuted as a stand-alone offense where there is not enough evidence to support the source of that illegality, or where the predicate offense has been committed in another jurisdiction. Okay, so that is it. And when you look at the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, they've designated categories of predicate offenses of money laundering. Clearly. And and there are many.
We've also listed some in
the Act 79. In Section 79 of
1044. No, I'm talking about the Yoko Act.
Yes.
The new Money Laundering Act.
Yes.
1044.
Yes.
Unlawful activity. They've
listed all those things because they took inspiration from the West African district. So for me, I think that the OSP owes us a responsibility to tell us exactly what was a predicate offense. Especially, and I'm adding to Martin, when Article
286 Clause 4.
286 Clause 4 says that if
unexplained wealth,
if the process cannot be reasonably attributed to salary,
loan,
gifts, inheritance, then that process will be acquired in contravention of the Constitution.
Yes.
So when the special prosecutor investigated, when the special prosecutor decided to serve Madam Cecilia Dapaah with lifestyle audit forms, what was the prima facie case that compelled him to do that? It's precisely because Cecilia Dapaah was arrested in public office. She was a public servant, and that 28664 is conduct of public offices.
Right.
You understand? And so then it defeats the very purpose for the creation of the office of the special prosecutor. And it appears that we have come 360.
Right.
Because you see, let me explain. The MPP manifesto of 2016 said that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice failure to fight corruption was precisely because the Attorney General and Minister of Justice sits in cabinet with his colleagues. And so it's difficult to do justice to cases of corruption brought against ministers of state. Who has prosecutorial powers in findings against a person at the EOCO? Who prosecutes EOCO's cases?
Attorney
General will do that. So if the very reason
they have their own lawyers.
Yes, but they do it under the fiat of the Attorney General. Under the fiat of the Attorney General. So that was why in drafting the OSP law, we had said that we had inserted in the law a provision that automatically gave the special prosecutor the power to prosecute without the fiat.
But you also put consent there. You said on the consent of the Attorney General.
No, it's deemed.
Yeah. But the language is
so, as we understand, the OSP doesn't have to go to Attorney General anytime.
Anytime
that I have this case, I want to do it. I need your.
But the language is weak.
Yeah, well,
the language
even with
let me get on the phone and thank you very much. I think this will be sufficient for now.